to another episode of Generational Debates. I'm Christopher Davis.
I'm Gic0e.
What's up? So basically, these first few episodes of the show, I'm doing artist interviews, and you're definitely an artist I've been a fan of, been supporting, seeing your TikToks for I think even before, since COVID, 2021 era.
Yeah, man. It was a different time for real, dog.
Yeah. So first, what made you choose the content style that you choose your TikToks? Because what got me was you basically saying the lyrics to your song, and then you were post TikToks with scenarios of it, and that shit was kind of smooth. So what made you get into that?
Bro, I'm gonna be real. It was mad random.
Mm,
Because I did it with Love Is Patient. Like that
mm,
was the first one where it really was stupid.
mm,
Um, because I would always see people on social media talking about other artists' music, and I was like, why not just talk about my own shit? You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? And then it, hey man, it works.
Right.
It works. So,
So the one thing I've always noted about you is your pen, your ability to combine spiritual references to just shit talk to a bunch of stuff. Who inspired you in with your pen, and what is the biggest? Do you have you enjoyed your growth over these past couple of years with your pen?
Um, I say as far as inspiration, bro, it's really just I read a lot. Like that's my main thing. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of TED talks and shit. So my that's where a lot of my I think my diction comes from. Honestly, is just my vocabulary in general. I've been reading since I was a kid. I've always loved books. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality, I got more in tune with my spirit outside of a religious context during the pandemic because I separated from the church. And so that's how I honestly began a greater understanding of my spirituality. And so I fuse that into my music because I feel like it just kind of reflects where I am at a certain point in time.
Gotcha.
I'm really proud of my growth though. I'm happy about it. And I've been able to reach people that I never thought I'd reach before. So I'm enjoying it for sure.
Gotcha. So what? So when you first started out, how did you feel? Because I feel you see some tweets where people say that, oh, I feel like when people hear the first version of myself, it's not the best version. But have you always been like, hey, I'm cool with whatever version you see because I was still learning the process. Or do you want more people to know more of your newer stuff earlier on?
Honestly, I felt like people got a pretty good understanding of my older music when it first came out. Um, because I was just trying to rap
Mm,
super heavy, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. That's all I was trying to do from the instrumentals I picked. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be the next rap nigga. I don't need to write no hooks because I literally told my producer that I was like, yeah, bro, I don't write no hooks. I'm gonna just be lyrical miracle.
gotcha. Yeah.
Nah, and then after 2 years of that, I was like, I want something that registers more emotionally. So I was like, let me just start putting an R&B flair behind it, and then just went stupid. So yeah.
So I think for me, my biggest takeaway with because again I write poetry and again nowhere near to where your parents, but I feel so many times in my own writing process I feel I second guess myself, or after something is said I'm like, oh, this could have been said better, oh, this could have said better. What's one of those moments, do you have a moment like that with a song, and have you felt like you could configure it into a better way?
Bro, when I wrote Love Is Patient and when I recorded Love Is Patient, I got mad love for the dude that produced the track, and for the engineer who made the track. In my head, I was like, damn, I wish I used this other instrumental because Love Is Patient hit so crazy in the first 72 hours. Because it
Yeah,
was at 100,000 in 72 hours and then like 300,000 a week.
yeah,
So that's what introduced a lot of people to me. I had just wished I had picked a slower instrumental
okay,
because I felt like it would have registered a little bit crazier. So
gotcha.
I love the song. That's one of my favorite songs. And I got mad love for the homie Mushi who produced that joint and who engineered it. But in the back of my head, sometimes I'm like, damn, this instrumental would have been crazy. But I ended up using that instrumental for luxury, and people love luxury. So it's
Yeah,
still
that
crazy.
would hit. That would hit too.
Yeah.
And so you have two EPs, Room 913 and Phases. With how was the building of Room 913? And then we could get into the building of Phases. But that's really where I fully was like, okay, yeah, I'm tapped in for sure because it was it was shorties and homegirls that like, had me hooked on them. Again, I'm a sucker for a good interlude. You
I
know,
know,
like
bro. I know.
listen, as a music fan, interludes always hit different. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate morning interlude to blame. So that's really what got me like, okay, like I'm fully supported. So talk about like basically how you all built that world. Because again, when I saw EP, I was kind of like, man, you could put a couple more, but I understand it's a lot of work. So
Hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna be so real with you. So I was working at a hotel. I was working at a rooftop spot in the hotel, and I'm sure you know, like I did work with the Charlotte Hornets and shit.
mm,
So I got a call, I got an email saying, "Hey, we need you down here to work with like the dancers or whatever." And I was like, "Bet." So literally, I went to the back room and I called my engineer and I was like, "Yo, bro, do you want to like do a whole EP this weekend?"
mm,
I was because I'm gonna be in Charlotte for like one night. I was like, "Do you want to make like the EP?" And he was like, "I mean, yeah, bro, we can do that." So hopped on a train at like 8 in the morning. I got to Charlotte at like 1. We grabbed some food and then we went to the crib and we cooked up the whole EP in like 6 hours. Nah, actually, we started working on the EP at like 3. We didn't finish that EP till 1 o'clock in the morning the next day because we had a shorty come through and lay vocals. We had Nia Rachel come through, who's on Blame, and her and her homegirls, which my dogs, they came through. They laid vocals for like 2 hours. So like that EP, we did that in pretty much a day, or
mm,
like half a day, for real, for real. Um, yeah, my main thing with that EP was I wanted like to pull at people's emotions, but also to like display where I was at that point in time too, because I was just getting out of some shit, like I was dealing with a whole bunch of shit, and where I was like, when I wrote Shorties, I was like, yo, I got 3 songs, I got 4 songs for the EP, but none of them are like hitting, like pulling the way I wanted them to. So I wrote Shorties, and that's when I was like, all right, bet this,
gotcha.
yeah, shit, yeah.
Gotcha. So I'm not even gonna get into your own shit because I know stuff get complicated. But I think that the one thing I like is you kind of talk about like you kind of like talk about toxicity in a relationships in a way that doesn't seem like overbearing and it doesn't seem like oh yeah like I'm just this toxic nigga. Because the one
Yeah, bro.
and again this is not shading to like one of my favorite artists, but I noticed that there's a bunch of people who want to sound like Brent now in especially male R&B spaces. And you know, my one feeling is like, look, if I wanted to listen to somebody sound like the artist, I just listen to
I
the
just listen
artist.
to artists. Yeah,
Exactly.
real life.
So, how do you feel like you approach the idea of toxicity with your music and like kind of like flip it on its head?
I feel just like I feel like when it comes to toxicity in my music, I'm just being honest
Mm,
because I'll never be like, oh yeah, I did some ain't shit, and I'm gonna
gotcha.
act like I didn't. Because it's like, bro, like that's growth. There are parts of me that I look back on that I adore, and there are parts of me that I look back on and I'm like, yo, you could have been a better person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I feel like the toxicity that I talk about in my music is just what happens when two people are involved with one another. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's levels to that shit. But I don't think I'll never glamorize it. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, like I think you can. I'll write about it artistically, but I'm not being like, yeah, this is how it is, and I'm being shit because I adore my own growth. You know what I'm saying? And
mm,
I'm glad that I've grown emotionally from places from where I once was. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to talk about things that are like kind of difficult in a really artistic way, but also in a genuine and realistic way, so that people can identify with it. Because people listening to music that they can identify with or that they want to identify with. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a handful of people can identify with me just because I'm relatable and because I'm honest in my artistry and in my music.
gotcha. So this is just like a personal favorite question.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
afraid of you question. Flowers. How the hell did you come up with that, man? Because my God, like it was like again, it was like on the top one of my top 15 songs this year. And I definitely feel like I streamed it more. I feel like Apple was messing with the count sometimes, but now like how was basically coming up with that? And then I saw the video too. Like how was that whole process?
So again, my music is mad personal, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first line I found my peace inside her karma, I was like, yo, hell yeah. I
Like, I
was
was
like,
making a
hell
song
yeah.
like that, bro. Listen, like you're one of those artists where I look at where I like listen to the lyrics. I'm like, are you okay? Like, what are you?
I be
What's
dead,
going
bro.
on, bro? What's going on?
But it was like, bro, I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't know what had came over me when I wrote Flowers, but my
Mm-hmm.
main thing was like, yo, I want. I remember what it was now. I love rock music, bro. That's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite genres because I do artist confessions all the time on
Yeah.
my story, and I'll be like, oh, I really enjoy this. I love rock music because I love how the instrumentation of the electrical guitar complements vocals.
Yeah.
And so my thing was, I was talking to my brother, and I was like, yo, like, I think I want to start making rock music.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, I mean, you might as well try. And so I hit up the homie Sly. He's the same producer that produced the beat for Shorties. And I was going through and I found something crazy. And those are all those electrical guitars. And I was like, yo, I want something with a really I want a song with a really long hook, but I also want to include like the bars in there to the point where it's not corny. Cause I feel
Yeah.
like that singing rap shit can get mad corny when niggas try to put too much in the song. And
Yeah.
so when I was listening to it, I was like, I love how you design, creator made you mine. I could break you off or I could be a piece of mind. I was like, wait a second, this is gonna go stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so let these lyrics be your flowers. Like, bro, I can just be real. It was a shorty I was with, bro, who hated flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Like buys flowers, but was at the same time was like subliminally trying to tell me to get flowers, but I didn't want to get flowers if she hated
Yeah.
flowers.
That's
So I was like, let these lyrics be your flowers. Just give me an hour. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
when I put it out like that, I was like, yeah, this gonna hit. And
Yeah.
people love that shit.
Yeah. My one thing is like with rock music because I'm also a rock fan as well. Who's your favorite like group or like artist? Because for me, it's Kurt Cobain. Because just because one like just Nirvana itself, him also being a Pisces like me, that's really cool.
Yeah,
But then just like I listen to some of the songs off of Nevermind, and I'm like, dude, like you're how you crafted those is insane. Because starting like an album with Smells Like Teen Spirit and Bloom and Come
yeah,
Like You Are, like that's literally like I always say like to be a great artist to me that you have to have like a great 3 song run that's just like cemented and you're just like okay
not for
this
sure.
is this is tough. So yeah, definitely Kurt's been one of mine, but who's one of yours?
So, bro, I started listening to rock music when I was in like middle school.
Mm.
So when I was in middle school, bro, Pierce the Veil was my shit.
Ooh, okay,
Pierce
okay.
the, bro, like honestly, that's where I fell in love with like the electric guitars because I was listening to like Paraphernalia and like
Mm.
Bulls in the Bronx, and that's where that shit influenced the fuck out of me when it came to like writing because I'm like, yo, this shit is dope. Like
Mm.
that shit is, and I still think, bro, like even though I don't listen to them as much, the discography of work is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to just how they can layer the instruments with their voices, but also it's not overpowered. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So like them falling in reverse
Mm.
for sure, bro. Like one of the classics because I still listen to their music. Um, where I think one of their songs is like "Sexy Drug," bro. That shit is fire.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is insane, bro. So yeah, those are definitely some of my favorites. And some people be like, "Oh, that's cliche,"
Mm.
but to me, like they played a heavy role in influencing my artistry, bro. So I'm not even gonna front.
And well, also because it is doubles as a sports and music show, I wanted to ask, working for the Hornets and being a dancer, how's that been? I know that as a team, as I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, I don't know if you see my
Yeah,
flag,
I
but
think, bro.
yeah, unfortunately, I am a fan of that team. But how is it being a dancer for the Hornets, and what really got you into dance? Because I've seen you like do the Red Bull stuff. I saw you like on your story do the stuff with Lay Twins. So what's that been going on with that? And do you want to combine more dancing into like your artistry when it comes to like your videos and stuff?
Okay, so I was a dancer. I did 2 years with the Charlotte Hornets. I did 2021 to 2023. Those
Mm.
were the seasons that I did. I did 2 seasons. It was it was a good experience as far as getting that stage performance, like getting that in my body, because dance is what I do for a living. Like I'm a
Yeah,
dance minor in college. Dance is how I paid for my education for the past 4 years from
gotcha.
booking jobs. You know what I'm saying, and traveling and doing homework.
Mm.
So when I was in Charlotte, I was like, yo, I need to adequately get that super stage experience. So what better way than by dancing in front of 20,000 people?
Exactly.
So that was the first thing. It grew me in a lot of ways. I had a lot of takeaways from it in regards to business and just understanding branding and how those things work and how branding can be done better. I got mad love for the Honeybees and the Hive Hip Hop crew. Like those are my homies and my homegirls for real. I got into dance when I was like 7 or 8. I
Mm,
was always watching Michael Jackson.
got you.
I always had a love for dance and music, but I love how he specifically moved to it. And then when I think I was 9 when I saw the movie Honey with
Mm,
Jessica Alba, and
got
it's a hip hop movie. So that's when I was like, I want to take this seriously. So I'm self taught, and then I did a little bit of studio training. I did some in high school, but then when I got to college, I was like, I'm gonna book. If I want to book work, I have to be classically trained. So I'm trained in jazz. I'm trained in contemporary. I'm trained in modern, and I'm trained in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because I have mentors and I got people who have gone further than I have within dance. So I would love to combine dance and music, but that's probably going to come later on in my
you.
career as it continues to grow, because I've come to find that a lot of people like to like peel like the layers back, because I
Yeah.
know we're gonna be like, oh, he makes music, that's cool, and then once I hit like that bigger stage and I
Mm.
start busting out choreography, then they're gonna be like, damn, you
Yeah,
know,
no, because one again, like I would like watch some clips of you Red Bull performance, and I'm like, dude, like, what? And again, because listen, dude, I literally just tap danced for like 4 years, and then like that was kind of my whole journey. Like I saw Happy Feet when I was like 5. I was like, hey, mom, I want to do that, and
right,
she'd like put me in the same dance school as my sister. But yeah, and then knowing my sister, like she danced like all through high school, and
yeah,
I wish that she kept with it, but now she's a medical assistant. So shout out to my sister.
right,
But I feel like dancing so much is dancing to me is like one of the coolest art forms ever, and just seeing everybody be able to express themselves, and you could just feel emotion without a single word being said. Like it is something crazy. So,
yeah.
what are some of your favorite choreographers you've seen, and like what are some of your favorite performances that you've done?
Um, so my favorite choreographer is Josh Smith. That's Chris Brown's choreographer,
Gosh.
because I took my first professional workshop when I was 18. I took class from him twice because Josh is from Durham, North Carolina, which is
Okay.
really dope. So he's a hometown hero for a lot of us. My second favorite choreographer is Robert Green. He has a VMA award.
Mm,
He was on Taylor Swift's tour. He's out in LA, like teaching classes. He's done pretty much everything. And I was casted by him, and I've worked with Robert. Robert is not even like somebody I would say I worked with. Honestly, I would say he's more like family, because
mm,
we worked together over a 2 month period. When he came out to Charlotte and casted for his piece, and I was one of like the only two male leads in his piece. So yeah, he's definitely my second favorite. The Law of Humanity is an amazing piece that I was blessed to be a part of. To have a Robert Greene, to have an experience working with him is amazing. The credit comes with the job, but
definitely.
to say that I've worked with him and that like we've connected, that's my dog for real, for real. Like that's,
Definitely. Nice. So, with the passing of Nikki Giovanni and just kind of like seeing a bunch of like dope black poets, and I like watched her like speech where she's kind of like flaming the hell out of Bill Cosby. I was like, okay, I'll mess with Nikki because again, I just knew her for the poetry. I didn't know she was like cutting people like that. I was like, okay, Nikki, I mess with you. So, with that, how do you feel like? What is the best way? Because to me, in your music, you show love to black women in an extraordinary way. How have black women impacted your life, impacted your artistry, and kind of like how have they like changed? How has like your relationship with them changed over the year? Very deep question, but
no, I respect it. I say it influences a lot of my artistry,
know.
because one of my main inspirations was Rhapsody,
Mm,
especially when it comes to just the lyricism, but also the substance. You know what I'm saying? Um, Rhapsody influenced me a lot, and I was able to tell her that because I got booked for a job where I had to work on set as a dancer for Rhapsody, and that was last December. I remember I was I had just performed with one of her fellow artists. I had opened for Ruben Vincent, who's
Mm.
a really dope MC out of
Oh yeah,
Charlotte.
no, I also need to get him on the show. Listen,
Yeah,
I,
I had opened for him. I had opened for him, and the day after, I was on the train to Raleigh to shoot with Rhapsody, and there was a moment where we all were just chopping it up. Shout out to Nico Brim. Um, Me and her, I told her, I was like, look, like you part of the reason why I make music. I told her how many monthly listeners I had. Told her what my name is, what it stands for, all of that, and I could see that it meant something to her. You know what I'm saying? Because that means a lot. Like a lot of people aren't able to say like, oh yeah, I met the person who inspires me to write. You know what I'm saying? Um, I would say over the years, I think my relationship has definitely grown um, because I've had a lot of love, but I've also had a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like I never put that on everybody as a whole or on every shorty I come across as a whole. That's just I ain't gonna do that shit. But what I will say is like a lot of them have taught me how to prioritize myself based off of the things that they've done to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's always gonna be love at the end of the day, man. I love I got my black woman on my phone.
sir, yes, sir.
I
We
love,
love to see
man,
it.
I love my girl, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know like as a black man, there is a responsibility for me
Mm,
to protect the black woman. You know what I'm saying? And even if I can't do the most, but I'm gonna still do something. You feel me? That's most of the women in my circle, the ones that have held me down and the ones that helped me out a lot. Like there have been people who I cut off because again, trauma. You know what I'm saying? I got assaulted by a black woman. A black woman helped her cover that Jean up. But I'm never gonna paint all black women the same color because that's what the world is doing to us.
mm,
Black men, black women, they, them, like that's what the world does to us as a community. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna put that shit back on the same people who is there for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always gonna be some outliers that mess it up for everybody else, but it's also a choice if we allow them to mess it up for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
gotcha. Well, also thank you for sharing that, bro. Because
Yo,
I've been like there's just real shit with that happening, and again, like that happened to me when I was young. When I
yeah,
was so I definitely appreciate you for sharing that.
yeah, for sure, bro.
So, what does GCO mean? What does it stand for? And honestly, and then like I'm gonna do like a top eight, which is gonna be like a new thing I'm debuting where I just ask you like eight different questions. But right now, what does GCO mean to you, and what are your overall goals for like the future?
Gico is Gico is a part of me, bro. Like it's a Gico came about when I first started battling in North Carolina. I started battling when I was 15 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I popped out to the event, and everybody's like, "What's your name?" I wrote my name down, and people kept mispronouncing it, and I was like, "It's Gico,"
Mm-hmm.
and so they were like, "Word, word," and then in my head, I'm like, you know what? If can't nobody pronounce it the right way, I'm gonna just make people pronounce it by showing up. Um, And so it stuck. You know what I'm saying? And then even with social media, a lot of people be like, "Oh my God, how do I pronounce his name?" But the thing is, that's still a way for them to remember me at the end of the day because they're like, "Oh no, you're what? That's how you say it.
Yeah.
Got you." You know what I'm saying? So Gico is just it's the personification of who I am, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's the artistic side of me, but it's not a side I gotta force. You know what I'm saying? It's not like an alter ego, shit like that. It's what people know me as, both in the community in the dance community, but also just artist wise, like that's who everybody know me as, man.
Yeah, because weirdly enough, like I came up with my new like poet name was like last year.
Yeah,
Well, I texted my friend this because it's like my last name flipped. I was like, it's gonna be Savati, it's gonna sound like Sade. It was like, well, you gotta be hard if you got a name like that. So
no
we
cap,
definitely would have. And I feel like with me like being a poet and like going into the art, I was like, dude, you're one of those people where I'm just like, dude, how did you write this? Because, and then we could talk about like top in the top eight section.
for sure.
Number eight is kind of like, what is like, who are, I don't want to do eight of your biggest influences, but who are eight people whose pen makes you kind of have that moment of, okay, what the hell is this?
For sure. All right, so I gotta do eight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first, I ain't gonna lie. I'll go to the artist who inspired me to like rap, his name is Montana 300. I don't listen to Montana 300 much anymore. I listened to him a lot through like high school. Um, I'll put that as like my 8, like on the like just going from like bottom to the up, because that's the one who inspired me to be like, you know what, I can rap, because he did a lot of remixes and shit. And I was like, you know what, like I heard a couple of them and I was like, damn, all right, bet. So I think I could be able to do this. 7. Damn. I don't even think I could put damn. 8 is a lot. I ain't even gonna lie. All right.
I'll reorder it next time. You know, this is work in progress.
Because I'm really thinking. All right, I'll say Busta Rhymes for like 7. Because this is not from best to worst or anything.
Yeah, no, it's just 8 people.
In the words of like how much they really influenced me. Yeah. Busta Rhymes, I remember the first time I came across Busta Rhymes was when I had watched the BET Awards when I was like a kid, and this was when they had premiered Look at Me Now. And I was like, oh, who is this? And I was like, this is fire. And so I was like, that influenced me in regards to like cadence and like keeping pace. Like that's how it influenced me a lot, like keeping pace. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, so it influenced me a lot in like keeping pace. 7, I'll say Lil Wayne.
Okay, cool.
For sure. Lil Wayne, bro. Remember the first time I heard Lil Wayne? I was in the 5th grade, bro. And I was in the school library. And this girl had put me on this website called Pandora. And I put my headphones on. And I heard the first song I heard by him was 6 Foot, 7 Foot. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Yo, this shit is crazy. Yeah. Easily. That's what made me like look at double entendres and like understand how bars are like formulated and stuff. 6.
Oh, we're at 5 now.
Oh, we're at 5. Okay, 5. Damn. 5. Let's see. I'll say like it's not even a rapper. I'll say North Carolina, like as a state influence me. I'll give it to North Carolina because growing up in North Carolina and hearing people who made music, I was like, yo, I think I can do it better. And it's not even in like a cocky sense, but it was more like I want to push myself to like make something crazy.
Yeah.
Because we used to have like ciphers. Actually, there are still ciphers in the city of Durham, downtown, I believe on Fridays. R.P. to Rowdy, who originated them Johns. But like, I remember going when I was in like high school and niggas would be ciphering and just rapping. And I'd be like, damn, I could do this shit.
Yeah.
And because that's the community and the collective of what hip hop is the cipher. That's where like we breathe. That's where we exist is in the cipher. 4, I'm gonna say this is probably a little bit out of left field. It was this dude named Canton Jones from when I was in. He was like he was a Christian artist, and I was like young. I was mad young, and that was my first like rap concert I had been to. And I didn't know who dude was, but I was super young, and I was like, damn. He had like these CDs that had all his songs, and they had the instrumentals. And I used to rap instrumentals all the time, so I was like, all right, I bet I could do it. And that was my first time like rapping over beats when I was a kid. Was off of what was on the CD. But now we're in the top 3 where shit get important. Gic0e is my 3. He might be my 3 and 1 for real. I ain't gonna lie. Because, look, man, I met Gic0e when I was 16 or 17 years old. I was working at a pizza spot, and I was the only one there. I was literally the only one there, bro. I had a rough day at work. It was mad rough, and I went on like I wasn't even on break. I was leaving. I was waiting to get picked up. I'm a teenager. I was a teenager, and I'm just like sitting down. I'm on my phone just like this, and dude walk. I see this dude like this 6-foot dude walk into the restaurant or whatever, and he walks out on his phone or some shit. And I see like this I think it was a black Escalade. Yeah, I think it was a black Escalade pulled up. But you know me, on my phone just chilling. And my manager comes out, he taps me on the shoulder. He was like, "Did you see you walk in?" I was like, "Yeah, it's just a customer." He was like, "That's J. Cole." What?
Yeah, exactly.
Calm down. He likes when we treat him like a regular person. I was like, all right. So I'm texting my group chat. J. Cole is here. Oh my gosh, bro. What do I need to do? Because this is before I was even making music.
Mm-hmm.
I was just somebody who was excited to meet,
J. Cole,
to
yeah.
be around J. Cole. And so I ended up going inside because my phone was dying and I had to take a leak. I come walking out. Me and him made eye contact. He was just like this. And I was like, damn near shit myself on the inside. I'm already knowing he was like, damn, he probably gonna make the spot hot. I gotta bounce.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotta be on some low key shit. Yeah.
For real. I was like, hey, Cole. I ain't the only thing I told him my name.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I really love your music and it saved my life at one point in time. Can I get a picture with you? He said, yeah, yeah. Got the picture, dapped me up, and I said, I'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where that came from at the age of 17, but I was like, hey, I'll see you soon. And then that picture is still on my gram like to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess 2, since Cole is my 1 and 3, I say Kendrick only because like it took me a while to be able to appreciate his music because when I was in middle school, I heard To Pimp a Butterfly, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, I heard Good Kid, Mad City, I think, and I also heard To Pimp a Butterfly, and I was like, I don't really understand. Like, it's like when you're young, you don't know how to take in all the information that's coming at
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And so, but once I got to high school, and I started like breaking shit down more,
Mm-hmm.
and just like having to be more analytical with what I was listening to. I was like, oh, this is fire.
Yeah.
So that influenced me a lot just when it came to storytelling, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like his storytelling is what showed me a lot because Duckworth, crazy,
Hey,
and literally,
that's what's crazy. Fear crazy. Like, I'll just say this about both Kendrick and J. Cole: their ability to tell a story and keep you hooked on said story. Because I'm glad all the mixtapes are back on streaming.
yeah,
Because listen, having to listen to our YouTube and SoundCloud was getting very
real.
rough. But re-listening to Friday Night Lights and Too Deep for the Intro, you're just like, dude, what are
Yeah,
you on, man? Like, how do you do that? And I just, and again, being from North Carolina, and J. Cole was my first entry point to like the newer era of hip hop.
yeah,
Because growing up, my mom would play like gospel music, then contemporary Christian, and then whatever pop music was on the radio. But because she was from Cali and she lived there during like the height of like Tupac and Biggie beef, she like was like, "Listen, Pac is your goat, not Biggie." So like she would just play Tupac constantly, and weirdly like that's what like Tupac is what got me into rap. Then like J. Cole and Kendrick are what solidified it for
facts.
me.
Yeah,
And after the whole beef thing, I'm like, look, listen, it's cool. I'm not. I think that there are artists who do different things for me, and I
for,
appreciate them for what they do.
for sure.
Because again, I did not appreciate Mr. Morale when it dropped. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like I was grading him on the same scale I grade a bunch of hip hop artists, where it's just like, oh, I need a hit, like I need something to turn up to, and I just need a vibe. But then we get Gener8ional, which is like a combination of like everything I love about Kendrick, where it's like, okay, like I'm rapping my ass off, and I got hits, and I also have like I have like 3 conscious tracks, which are some of the greatest
Those
some of the
tracks
greatest
are
songs.
insane, bro.
Yeah.
Actually
But
insane.
again, I always say like Reincarnated has got to be one of his best songs because how the hell
Reincarnated. The storytelling on that was crazy, bro. It reminded me of the heart. I think part. What was it? The part where he was changing faces and stuff.
yeah, the Hard Part 5, yes.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Heart Part 5 a lot within his cadence and how the track progressed. I was like, yeah, this is insane,
Yeah. I feel like with the whole that whole album, like again, I have it like alarmingly high in my Kendrick like discography rankings. Like I have it tied for second, and people are like, Chris, that's prisoner of the moment. I'm like, look, the year that he had and the amount of very good hit songs on that album, I'm like, look, I haven't seen like a combination of songs that like hit like, everybody like this since Good Kid, Mad City.
bro. Yeah,
It's like- and even still, Damn Era like had some moments too. But Good Kid, Mad City will always be my favorite Kendrick album. One because that was what first got into me, what first got into like first like really hit and resonate with me, and then just the song Money Trees itself. I mean, come on, like that's Money Trees is what made me a Kendrick fan.
yeah.
And yeah, but so basically, who's your? So you have J. Cole, and then we have Kendrick. And we could just, wrap up the top 8. So my last and final question before we head out is, where can people find you? Where can people stream you? And what is ultimately your big goal? Because I see that like last and final Dreamville Fest. It just got announced today. So
You asking me about that, bro? I'm like,
let's
look,
see it. I'm telling you.
um, so hang on, what was the question again, bro?
So, what are your big goals? Because I know you've already said, like, on the Apple Music bio, it says the Dreamville Fest.
Oh
Is
yeah, yeah,
definitely one of them.
yeah.
So,
So for one, people can find me literally everywhere, anywhere you find music. Gic0e. I'm more likely on there. I'm on Tidal, Spotify, SoundCloud, because I upload my tracks personally for people on SoundCloud. Because people beat down my inbox, like, yo, can you please put this on SoundCloud? And I'm like, bro, I got you. Just let me get my first couple weeks in, and then I'll throw it on there. Audio Mac, all that junk. Um, Long term goals, bro. Honestly, like I've been able to touch millions of people digitally with my artistry, which is a blessing in and out of itself within such a short period of time that I've done it. Because I remember when I first started making music, I had 12,000 streams, but I wasn't grateful for those 12,000 streams. But once I started like understanding I'm changing people's lives and like actively impacting people from just the countless messages I received, that's when I realized I've been blessed with more because I value everything. Um,
right.
so I've done it digitally. I would love to do it in person now. So I would love to do more festivals. I did a festival last year, which was dope. Hopscotch Festival in Raleigh, North Carolina. That was a vibe. But I would love to do Dreamville because I am a North Carolina resident. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm an artist. People are asking me, when are you going to do Dreamville? And I'm like, whatever, hit me up. I can do it. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I would love to. I want it to be bigger than the music, honestly, because a lot of my goals rely within dance. I would love to dance on tour. For Usher, I would love to complete a residency for Usher. Yeah, Victoria Monet, I would love to dance on tour for her. Tyla, specifically, Tyla and her career direction was crazy. So I think I would argue that I have more goals within dance than I do just in music.
Gotcha.
I want to battle and travel internationally on a global scale with dance. That's what I really want to do.
Well, this has been a great interview. Thank you so much, man. I know it's late at night, but I really appreciate all that you've done and continue to do. More blessings to you, bro. Keep doing your thing. And yeah, we are out.
I
So,
always you too, man.
yeah, last episode of Generational Debates.